So one of the most common questions I get is, Zach, is flexible dieting the right diet for me? And in short, the answer is yes. And to truly understand why I say this is you need to understand first what flexible dieting is not. Most people think flexible dieting is you're just eating cookies, cakes, ice cream, all these foods that have low nutritional values, that are very calorically dense, and those are making up all your calories. You're eating like a little kid. That's what most people think it is. But in reality, flexible dieting is just the understanding of the nutritional hierarchy of importance. You understand the nutritional principles that actually matter. You understand that calories in versus calories out matter. You understand that macronutrients matter, your protein, your carbs, and your fats. You understand that food quality matters. You need to get in your micronutrients. You understand that meal timing should be mapped around your lifestyle. And you understand that supplementation is exactly that. It supplements those 4 points that I just outlined. And so that's flexible dieting in a nutshell. You understand the principles in order to apply them to your life to create the perfect diet for you. That's the power of this. So you might be thinking, Zach, I do keto, I do paleo. What about those diets? Are those like flexible dieting? Can I do paleo and do flexible dieting? And my answer is yes. You can do keto and you can do flexible dieting, but you just need to understand the principles of why each of those diets work. Why does keto work? Why does paleo work? Let's talk about keto. So we've all heard that when you eat the keto diet, you eat certain types of foods. They tell you, okay, these are keto accepted foods. And what are they usually? Super high fat, moderate to low protein, and virtually no carbohydrates. So that really limits the type of foods that you can have. And why does the keto diet work? It focuses on having you eat a macronutrient profile, your protein, your carbs, and fats, that help you achieve ketosis. And I'm not gonna go down that nutshell, well, most people are just eating low carb and they're not achieving ketosis. So what happens when you achieve ketosis is your hunger is at check and you're just not as hungry on less calories. That's how it's working. So as a result, when doing keto, you're actually tracking your calories and you're actually taking into account for your macronutrients. Because why would you do keto if you weren't taking into account for your macronutrients? And so next up, let's talk about paleo. Why does paleo work? So let's think about the first thing that happens when you do paleo. They tell you these foods are paleo accepted and these foods are not. What happens? Paleo demonizes the refined carbohydrates, the processed foods, and so you cut those out and replace them with vegetables, fruits, and lean protein sources. What happens? You eat less calories. Why? Because you're replacing foods that are easy to overeat with foods that are not easy to overeat, that keep you full and are not as calorically dense. And protein is very satiating. So more times than not, you're eating more protein on the paleo diet. So what is this doing? It's improving your macronutrient ratios. You're eating more protein, you're eating less carbs, and you're eating maybe less fat, probably less fat. And in the grand scheme of things, you're eating less calories. And so Zach, what about intermittent fasting? I just started it and it is changing my life. So if you're not familiar, how intermittent fasting works is it's telling you when you can eat and when you cannot eat. And more times than not, it's a 4 to 8 hour eating window. So why does that work? Well, most of us, we used to eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert. And that would happen from 8 a.m. till we went to bed. But what happens when you eat in a smaller eating window? When you're only eating for 4 to 8 hours? You have a shorter time window to eat. You're not spreading calories across the whole day. And so thus, as a byproduct, because you have less time to eat, you're gonna eat less calories more times than not. And so why I went over all of those diets is because I want you guys to understand that flexible dieting is the best of all those worlds. It's understanding why each one of those diets worked. It's taking what you like from keto. It's taking what you like from paleo. It's taking what you like from all of these diets. It's taking what you like from intermittent fasting. It's taking all of it and applying it to your unique life and creating the perfect diet for you. So you can eat your paleo-approved foods. You can eat your keto-approved foods. You can eat your favorite foods, your ice cream, your cookies, your cakes. Have them in moderation. But then you can create an all-encompassing approach. So when you do have a craving, if you want an ice cream cone, you can have it. But most of the time, you're eating healthy, micronutrient-dense, minimally processed foods. And then 20% of the time, 10% of the time, 5% of the time, whatever you want, you're able to fit in those foods that used to be off limits. And you can eat around your lifestyle. You can do intermittent fasting. You can eat in a 4 to 8 hour eating window, or you can eat throughout the day. But you have to understand that your macronutrients, your proteins, your carbs, and your fats are very important, and those will make up your calories. And your goal by the end of the day is to hit those numbers. And however you want to do it, it's your choice. And with great freedom comes great responsibility. And why does flexible dieting get a bad name? It's because a lot of people abuse that freedom. They fit in way too many of these low quality, not micronutrient dense foods that are very calorically dense, and thus you get this bad name. And they post on social media about it all the time, but that's not what's usually happening. That's the highlight reel. That's what they're just showing to prove, hey, I'm a flexible dieter and I can eat all this stuff. That's not really what's happening. So what was my goal with this? Is to help you guys understand that education drives compliance and gives you flexibility. It allows you to create something that's perfectly molded to you. When you understand what calories do I need to be taking in to help me succeed? What macronutrients make up those calories? What micronutrient dense foods do I love to eat on a daily basis that I can fit in and they can make up the bulk of my diet? What are these foods that I have cravings for every once in a while that I can fit in, and how do I fit them in? How do I create meal timing around my current lifestyle that allows me to hit my macros on a more consistent basis? And do I really need to be spending all this money on certain supplements? And can I just spend that money on better food choices and better ways to improve myself? Those are the main principles that we need to succeed. This is a 2 to 3 month period in your life to learn about nutrition, to where you have that in your back pocket for the rest of your life, no matter what life throws at you. This is what we call nutritional freedom. It's the best feeling in the world. And I want it for every single one of you guys. It's just like the old adage, give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're learning how to track your macros. You're doing it more consistently. You're eyeballing foods. You're figuring out how many calories are in this one, how many calories in this one, what are the macronutrient breakdowns. You're eyeballing it, so you're starting with the end in mind. You're able to see, oh my gosh, okay, this is what one serving size looks like. And you're gonna be like, wow, I was eating 3 to 4 before, and I thought that was one serving. It's gonna be eye-opening for you. And you're gonna realize, whoa, this food, I get a lot of food for the amount of calories. And then you're gonna see this other food and you're gonna be like, oh wow, this is the serving size for this little amount and it's that many calories? And then you start to understand, holy crap, I wanna eat this food. I don't really wanna eat this one because it doesn't keep me full. It doesn't help me reach my goals. And then over time, you build a database, experience, and you starts to click for you. You're like, oh my gosh, I get it. I get why Zach said all these things in the beginning of the video, talking about keto, paleo, all these foods, how they inadvertently help me eat less calories. And you have this aha moment. And you realize how in control you really are. And so you might be thinking, Zach, how do I get started? So my advice would be, first thing you need to do, download a macro tracking app. Very simply, download MyFitnessPal. Get a digital food scale. Log your food for 3 to 7 days. Figure out what you've been taking in on a daily basis. Look at serving sizes. Have fun with it. Pick some foods that you eat normally and put it on the food scale. Look at what one serving was and put down what you think one serving was. And then you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, that was what one serving was. And then you realize that over time added to a lot more calories than you thought you were consuming. Do that for a week. That's the #1 way. It's gonna be eye-opening for you how much results you can actually get once you do this. It's gonna be an amazing learning experience, just understanding the input, where I was the same person. I thought I was consuming a lot less calories than I was, but in reality, it was way more than I thought. So that's gonna be my first step for you guys. Do this for 3 to 7 days. Comment below and let me know if you guys want more videos like this. I want to help you guys succeed. Let me know, leave your comments below. We will cover them in future videos. Please give the video a thumbs up. Please subscribe. We have so much more cool content coming. And as always, thank you so much for watching. God bless, and I'll see you guys in the next video.